distinguished bold panelists on trends and developments in the world of crypto trading. Please welcome our panelists. Hi everyone, we're here for the Wolf of Crypto Street panel, and we are with Jorge, Diogo, Tocha, and me, Luiza. I'll ask you guys to introduce yourself briefly. I'll start from here to there. I'll just quickly introduce myself. I'm a lawyer here in Portugal. I have my own law firm, and the main point of our law firm is actually Web3 and crypto. It's why all of our clients surround around that. So that's why I'm here today, and it will be great this panel with you guys.
Hello guys, my name is Diogo. I've been working with several projects in crypto since 2017. It was always community management. Back then I started enrolling into the exchange business, ended up in crypto.com for 2 years on the institutional side of the business. And then I knew there was a bank here in Portugal acquiring a license for crypto. I had to go and see what it was all about. The bank is Paisan Bank, and they have a subsidiary that handles precisely and only crypto. There's a license from the Bank of Portugal. We're trying to not cut corners.
Hi guys, I'm Jorge. I'm a former BCG consultant and crypto trader from a long time ago, and I've decided 2 years ago to create my own AI development firm regarding to crypto trading. We do risk management and trading models for mostly the BTC USDT pair, but also other types of portfolios.
Hello everyone, my name is Tocha, so you can find me on the Web2, Web3 metaverses as the real Tocha. I've been investing and creating companies for the last years. I manage an investor with around 50 companies, from Web2, Web3 businesses, several stuff. I'm also the host of a Portuguese podcast called Talk, where we talk about business, Web3, philosophy, the world, a lot of things. Super interesting, you should check it out. And more recently, we launched an investment firm, basically a VC, which is a decentralized venture capital, but completely, which is interesting for us to discover more here. It's called Angel's Way, angelsway.pt. You can check it out. We're still receiving tickets for investment. Minimum ticket is 1,200 euros. So the objective is to have a lot of people, no management fees, and everybody participates in the fund.
Hello everyone, my name is Mambo. That's right, perfect. I'm considered a retail trader. I've been representing Portugal all over the world. We've been doing events with tens of thousands of people in terms of crypto, AI, and e-commerce.
Okay, well guys, thank you for the introduction, and well, it's good to see that we have different backgrounds, so we'll have different perspectives on the questions. So my first question would be, how institutional investors and retail traders have somewhat contributed to the mainstream adoption of cryptocurrencies worldwide, if you think we are already in mainstream adoption. And what challenges do you think that they face on the regulatory side to reach there, or what the regulatory blockers for us to get there? I think, with Diogo as well.
Alright, and I'm going to say right away, I'm going to be biased.
That's why we're starting this side with the bank guy, and then we're going to the others.
But it's
The dark side.
But it's a bias on experience. It's bias based on experience. For 2 years I've been seeing not only institutional but also retail clients requesting one thing in common. And and that's really crypto-friendly banking. So in crypto right now, there's a huge problem. It's that whether you're institutional or retail, you do not find the proper banking solution for you. And then even if you do find a crypto-friendly banking, do they do crypto? Is it on chain? And most importantly, are they looking forward to MiCA or adapting ahead of time for any rules that there will be any regulation that will come into place, so that they don't stop operating for a single day?
Tocha, what do you think about it?
Yeah, maybe just stepping back a little bit to understand the question exactly. The reality is, when we think about regulations and retail and institutions, we have to think about what kind of world and what kind of society are we building with these Web3 tools. So we have created these blockchains, NFTs, smart contracts, DAOs, DeFi. We're doing all of this why? And I think starting from that point, we'll clarify what kind of world we want to live in, if we want regulations or not. Like, one thing is if we want to live in the Wild West, where everybody is just chasing money and using crypto because it inflates fast, sell fast, make some money, so we don't want regulations because we don't want to pay taxes. That's one way to look at it. The way I like to look at it is just, it's one more innovation for our society so that we can live better. And one of the things that crypto or Web3 tools bring are new ways for us to build our society. And if we start by the principles, by the ethics that the blockchain defends, everybody, transparency, ownership, everybody participating, aligning incentives. If we look at those ethics, for me, what I want is that technology to go to the rest, to the real verse, to the rest of our society. And in order for that to happen, in order for a coffee to use, a restaurant to use Web3 tools, we need regulations. Because we're not going to have our traditional businesses going to the Web3 bubble. What we have to do is bring these useful tools so that the real verse and the real verse businesses can also use them and empower them to have better business models, more aligned with the business models. And for that, we need regulation. And either we allow the government to regulate as they want and just tax us out as they like to do, or we ourselves have the responsibility to build the tools to create the right incentives so when the regulations can connect with the tools that we build, and we can build the world that we want. Is that too deep?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I agree on the sense that I think we have to be hands-on, and the Web3 community have been a big part of discussions with regulators and legislators. I mean, I've seen this firsthand, which is great. We have a lot of educational work to do with governments and with high bodies of people that are actually building this for us. So having the tools to do so is great. But a factor that I don't think, I mean, neither of you yet so far said, is the pushback from the traditional markets and the pushback from the current regulations. There's parts of it that it's hard to change. There's parts of it that we have people that don't want actually to change. So we either adapt the regulation, we create a new one. I think that's a challenge that we are facing and will face. But based on that, and then we'll have Diogo on this one actually. As the traditional financial sector grows and start embracing the digital assets, how do you foresee the dynamics between institution and retail traders involving particularly with regards to market influence, competition, and collaboration?
So again, this is more from what I've observed in the market. You have both segments of retail and institutions, both influence each other a lot because one needs the other. There's no retail without institutions, nor the other way around. Whenever you're acquiring Bitcoin or selling Bitcoin, you're doing it against someone. And it's seldom the case that you're doing it against a peer like yourself. There's usually an institution behind that trade. That institution makes money on your reaction because you're retail and you're very driven by impulse. But institutionals, when they're trading by algorithms that are very programmatic operate very coldly, so they make money on arbitrage, they make money on spreads when you're trading, and they make money by doing hedging on other venues. So as this happens, you will have institutionals that are very sophisticated, those are most of the institutionals. You will see the occasional retail trader that is more sophisticated than an institutional, and then you will see, of course, the random institutional that can make losses quite frequently and consistently. And that fits in the same bag as the most of the normal retail tier. The idea here is that one does not exist without the other, because institutions navigate the emotion. So as you're trading and you're very emotive while trading, institutions will trade on top of that emotion.
I might have to agree a little bit with you, because we tend to have a lot of people that they think, oh, it's the debanking, it's always the institutional versus the retail traders, but actually it's more as not being together, but in this case, in the crypto world, it goes a little bit deeper. It goes into a place where we need either work together or try to build something that we all know with the CBDCs and all that, they try to not be fully transparent, and that's something that they'll have to work on it, and it's not our case to do it, but in terms of that, we have that thing where people think, oh, it's retail traders want to kill the banks, they want to debank, they hate banks. No, it's not about it, it's really about working with them, because even most platforms that people use nowadays, they'll use a bank as an intermediate for leverage, for example. So that's a very important thing to say, because people think, oh, I'm going to trade against the bank. No, the thing is that what we're doing is actually trading with them, is basically in an easier way to say, surf the wave with them and not trying to go against them, because if you go against them, you'll get stopped. Yeah, that's it.
Well, is it true, like Bitcoin when it started, the idea of Satoshi Nakamoto, I never talked with him, I wanted him to come to the podcast, but I can't find him. His idea was to build a different infrastructure, right? And what you're saying is basically we end up using the legacy system while we're still building the crypto system.
That's a good thing to see in that way as well, and I truly believe that. The only thing is, if we could have some infrastructure, let's call it the bank, that does it in a way that there is no financial gain, there is fully transparency, and there is
Blockchain?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'll let you speak on it. But the thing is, nowadays, with the vision, we cannot go against them, because if we go against them, but right now, we just need to keep proving that blockchain will keep being blockchain, and we need to fully develop deeply until we reach a point of that everyone wants, or most people want, obviously, which is the mass adoption. But until there, we just need to keep building with our vision of blockchain and not try and kill right now the banks, because we don't have the capabilities of doing it.
I take a completely different
How do you do it?
I don't go to killing the banks, but traditional institutions do not love playing in any market they don't dominate. You look at Bed Bath & Beyond, Robinhood, the Citadel, the place, and every one of them was calling fault for things that the banks do every day. They don't want to play by the retail rules. I don't want to play by the retail rules. Nobody that can play without being in the retail rules will play by the retail rules. You want to front trade, you want to get the best price, exit in the right moment, and the institutions will always be there for that. In the end, trading and taking this conversation from all the philosophy to the trading, to the money. Retail is more ignorant, have less tools, and less capacity to play the market. If institutions come into the market, we see two things. First, the best traders and the people making more money will be in the institution side. It won't be the random trader looking at the tweets, it will be your BlackRock, Blackstone, someone like that. And price stability will increase to a point that this market will stop being attractive for retail traders. If you start having a stable volume, as Diogo said, on market makers, a lot of market makers in, volatility will reduce on a significant amount. That is great for adoption. As a blockchain fan, for the part that I really don't like the banks, I give the minimum amount of money possible inside any financial institution. I believe the point that if you want transparency, fastness, and the guarantee that nobody is going to touch your money, you know your seed phrase by heart, and that's it. And you'll access it, you'll change money. I had to transfer, made a money transfer from Macau, from my parents to buy a house here. We were using a Portuguese bank there, and the fee that we paid for a full house was €3.22 for the full transfer of the money. It's a better system, it's a cheaper system, it's of course a system that goes against all the regulatory rules that the financial world is used to, and there is a clear difference in views of the paths ahead. One thing is for sure, crypto will not stay unregulated. I really have no idea where that exists. But on the trading side, what we'll see is institutions dominating the market. Retail has not the tools to compete. Right now, what my company does is using AI for some market making, and we are a tiny fish in the sea. We download 2 million tweets every hour, and we analyze them using several advanced AI algorithms to know the price for the next hour. You read 12 tweets a day and you think you can compete on the market analysis? BlackRock will analyze all the tweets at all the time. So institutions will be taking what happens in the traditional market. Most of the trade in the traditional market is made by market makers and big players. And the reason is the small player has a very, very hard time to compete, gets liquidated often, does not have the access to the tools. Like, try to buy an option. I ask all of you, go to your phone, try to create an account and buy an option. All investment banks will use options to hedge, and they take huge advantage on using options to hedge the risk. For you to be authorized to buy an option, you'll take a long time and you'll have certain difficulties. Right now, the crypto market is much more fair. You do not have that type of advantages on the big players. Why? Simple, because while the inside information on the normal world is in very high-end events, in the crypto space is in Twitter space, is on the Telegram chats of the projects. There is an even playing field for a random guy to today still be able to outperform trading in the crypto space that it does not exist on the stock space. You go to Robinhood and they have small letters there saying 85% of the people who use Robinhood lose money. And in crypto that's not at all the game, and with institutions it will tend to be that game.
I mean, it's because of that we're starting to see a lot of startups starting to work, especially with fintech, remittance, on and off ramps. I mean, on and off ramps grew so much the last few years, and we're starting to have full crypto companies doing that, which is great. It goes a bit against the traditional finance, but they're still somewhat regulated, so it's nice to see a bit of a middle field there. Well, so for now, we still have the options of you going fully traditional bank, fully unregulated, or somewhat in between. And just, I'll pass again, but continuing on this matter, I would like just to bring a bit more to the DeFi part of it. So with DeFi growing, DeFi platforms especially growing the last years, how do you guys think that impacted the way that people actually trade and invest in cryptocurrencies?
Let me just make a small comment about that. I agree completely with you, Jorge. Like, if institutions come, they have a firepower that is very difficult for retail investors to compete. And that's the reason why I think when we talk about Web3, we focus too much on money, on financials. You know, that's the reason I was talking about the ethos. We started building DeFi. There is a philosophical idea behind the decentralization, behind ownership. We moved it to money, but it doesn't have to be that way. right? So we don't have to use Web3 tools only for money. They are very valuable in other areas of our society. And we start seeing stuff happening. And I think we'll see even more. When we go to money and when we go to regulations, the big guys come. Like, they rule the system. It's very difficult.
The title of the panel, it is pretty financial.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a lot
It's
of
difficult to find a panel that's
implications.
not financial.
Exactly. I think they're covering a lot of the bases. Of course, there's tons of implications, but I feel like most people that are here are expecting us to go towards the financial route of it. But yeah, it's a limited power when we're talking about blockchain and all of that. We would be days at least talking about it and the possibilities and implications and how that would impact our lives. So
We just don't talk enough.
Yeah, so
let's keep it fun for now. Let's go to the DeFi part. So since you're so enthusiastic about the DeFi and the philosophy, how do you think that the growing of DeFi platforms actually impacted how people trade and invest on crypto?
No, DeFi is incredible in the sense that you start from the philosophy, which is ownership of your own assets and not having intermediaries, right? That's the basis of why DeFi exists. And I think that's incredible when you look at how we have implemented the technology in a decentralized way, when anyone can go there, anyone can use, as long as you know how to use the crypto difficult tools, but eventually we'll get there, it will be easier. And in terms of leveraging the power structures that we have in our world is great, because it removes power from very powerful structures and allows people to go directly to talk with each other, right? And this lowering this transaction cost, which is actually a transaction cost of looking for a bank to make business, now I can find somebody on the other side of the world, is what technology is about. And I think it's great, and I think regulation will come. I think it will be beneficial, because checking if the contracts are good, if the code is well written, all these things, they are good for the system and for the retail investors.
I clearly agree, but I think we are so far from there. Like that DeFi world, I don't see it in the market. DeFi is the Wild West, completely Wild West. I see people using DeFi to hunt for 500% interest rates a year, to do some of the most degen plays you can see. You see a lot of fake decentralization. Like, it's not DeFi if one entity owns 75% of the liquidity pool. It's pretty much centralized, more centralized than most banks. It's not DeFi if you have some players with advantages while they're playing, like, oh, if you have X tokens of our platform, we'll front you on your trades. That's not DeFi. What we see, the vision that he says, I like it a lot. What I see out there is nothing of the sort.
Because of the money. That's what
We are here for.
Yeah.
This is a panel, right? Okay.
Wrong panel, guys.
So I think I would pick on a very important aspect of DeFi that's enabled by smart contracts. So if these then that contracts, that's the ITGTT. And the idea here is that we have democratization of the possibility of offering services. Finally, you, as a single entity, can provide liquidity. This is a service. Just like Jorge was saying, banks are so evil because they are always in front of you. The idea is to provide a service in the end of the day. Retail cannot always do everything without a bank. It's beautiful to be able to have access to information, especially in the days that we are now, where you have democratization also of information. You can access knowledge really easily, and I saw this happening. I saw retail that was much more sophisticated than some market makers that I was seeing trading every day.
But that retail is also bigger than some market makers sometimes. We have here in
Very
crypto
true.
a class of
Very true.
retail
Very
that
true.
is
But
the retail, the traditional market.
it's in the points of your fingertips. We're in a day where sheer will is what gets you to the front. It's not anymore either size or whether you are institutionalized. Today, information is out there. Just go and do it.
Just putting in
Not going the front line, since you're a trader, so what do you think about
Yeah,
that?
I truly agree with George, because the thing is, DeFi is still very far from we all see projects and even things that we shouldn't even see because it's still so far and still needs a lot of development, but the most important thing is it's going there. It's going its way. People are still building, people are still working, people are still programming. How long will it take? I don't know. If you have an exact date, anyone here, if you have an exact date on when DeFi will be 100% perfect, let me know. But we still don't know it. But the important thing is people are still building on it, which still, obviously there's the part of people that are looking at for money, for scams, for lots of things in the bad ways. But again, it's still building, it's still working. So that's what we need to focus on. What's good and what's working good and what's building good. And until there, we just need to make sure that we build with it, you know?
Speaking of what you both said, you said that for you the most important part is the ITP, if this then that, and that we should wait for the time it takes to arrive. If this then that is the biggest problem that regulation has with DeFi, you know what the government really hates? Not being able to stop you from doing something. Think about it, anything that you do, they can take your money from your bank account, freeze your bank account, stop your mobile phone. It is a thing that helps our society quite a lot. How would we work if the court finds you, they couldn't take the money off your account? Do you know where that will never work without compromising the whole system? In an if this then that system. Because if it's this then that, there's no others right there. So how can we reach that point of DeFi if we are also aiming for the part of regulation? This is one of the key things that when I'm trading and when I'm looking at news about DeFis and platforms, I look, this was what impacts the availability of the platform to actually be able to do what it does. The MiCA and the US regulation, the part about the taxes, about KYC, all that, it can be a pain in the ass, but it's survivable. The part about you saying, oh, we need to be able to know who's on the other side of the transaction. How will I create it and how will it work? I have hundreds of crypto wallets. How will I need to register them all to a central entity to be able to use them? Can I use them abroad? How will DeFi work if you need to do KYC to start playing?
There are clean decentralized pools, but that's a whole other topic. So
yes,
you
but
only enter this decentralized pool if you have run through KYC first. And this is something that a lot of institutions are now exploring, but that's still not something that's done in the traditional market. Something for the future.
Okay, once you do KYC, it's not that anonymous anymore at all, and it's not that decentralized because someone will have to control the KYCs. So that person will have someone to control.
exactly.
But I don't think that, the lawyer and the panel, I don't think that having the regulations is so bad. I think it also generates some kind of sense of security for some part of it. We've seen a bunch of debacles that happened last year exactly because either there was no regulation or that the regulators did something wrong.
Or governance as well.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we are still exploring. We are starting to see really good regulations. We already saw some really bad ones. We saw some that are out there that do not really work. DAO regulation is the biggest example of regulations that are out there but don't fully work for what they intend to. So based on all of that and regulation side of it, what do you guys, totally personal opinion, what do you guys would like to see in regulations coming forward towards the finest part of crypto?
Well, more of it even. So when I talk, I'm not talking on behalf of the bank, I'm talking on behalf of Bison Digital. And really for us, more regulation means more certainty. More certainty leads to more business here. You can see from other sides of the world where regulation is not all that clear, and you see institutions considering doing altogether. If your regulation is real clear, it's very transparent, then institutions will definitely appreciate that.
I will take the full trader approach.
I will just say, sorry, you guys will all answer, but that will be pretty much our final answer, so it's more or less a minute for each one of you before we got kicked out of here. Okay?
Well, I'll keep it short.
Restart the time.
Short and simple. Anything that doesn't totally kill the fundamentals of the industry will be a dream for any type of trader. The uncertainty keeps retail down, keeps investment down. It might be terrible for the long-term blockchain idea that we have, but any type of regulation that doesn't directly kills or significantly hampers the market is amazing. Just keep writing it and the market will react good. Not financial advice.
Makes sense. See, there's the thing about Web3, we're always talking about not financial advice. We always talk about money. I think it's interesting for us to think about the way Web3 is right now as the Wild West. So you remember the Wild West with the horses and the cowboys? So instead of cowboys now we have the degens and the OGs, right? And instead of bored apes, they had guns and cool hats. And when they entered the saloon, they came with a, how you call that, to close your face, and they didn't want to take it out, and if you open your mouth, they take a gun and they shoot you in the face. So I think it's a bit, do you want to live in a world where crypto is like this? Of course, retail investors don't want. They want certainty. They want to know that if they own a bar and they want to serve drinks, nobody's going to come and steal them. So I think regulation is always good, and if we look at this, the history of humankind, when we had lawless land, we eventually created law. Because it's good when you're young, and you're full of energy and you want to try it out and risk everything. But as soon as you start building the family, you start thinking about putting food on your table, educating your kids, security, stability, and you don't have that with cowboys around. So I think there's no way for regulations not to come.
Yeah, I truly believe that as well, because I don't want to go that extreme, but we don't want to look at it as a, let's say, an anarchy style of things, but there's a lot of people that rely on that, on what's happening and what's being regulated. So it obviously for some doesn't bring that much of safetyness, let's say that way, because obviously we want 100% decentralization, that's why Bitcoin's here, but the part of that people rely and are waiting, I'll just hop on it when it's regulated. I mean, in lots of cases, we see the regulation being a good thing on those cases where it does meet our, not approval, but we tend to have a lot of people accepting it when it gets regulated.
No, we can talk a bit more about that outside.
Yeah.
We're out of time. They're almost kicking us. Thank you guys for the panel.
Thank you.